This video is going to be for this particular wallet, clutch, crossbody, whatever you want to call it. It does have 6 card slots on the inside, as well as the money pocket and a spot for coins. Okay. The pieces that I used, I have a magnetic lock that is a rivet. So I chose to use this because it's actually easier for me to install. These do also come with magnets. You can use that in place of this. That's entirely up to you. When doing that, you're just going to have to be a little bit gentler because you're going to have to do it without going through the whole thing. Whereas these ones, we're going to punch it all the way through on both of these. And that's why it's a little bit easier for me to install that way. I have not marked where these spots go because depending on how you're attaching this, if you're going to do it in the machine, like in the embroidery machine, you have the option of stitching up here so that this would be higher up. Okay, and that would eliminate being able to put these ones up here. You'd have to put something like that on the sides if you want it to be a crossbody. Let's see. I did test this to have this piece sewn to the outside. It just didn't come out as well. You can also use edge coat. I used on this particular example a interior fabric that is frayable, so I did line this, and once I was done and stitched everything, I cut it out with my scissors, and then I put edge coat on the outside. Now I just use the base because I didn't really want a color, but I can always go back if I want to. You can also use a fray check to make sure that this piece here doesn't come undone, as well as Mod Podge. Those are options that you can use. So with that being said, I just used straight vinyl that I got from, I believe, Hobby Lobby. You can get them from many different locations. The one that I'm going to be using today I got from Purple Dragon. The interior was also made out of a cotton woven. When doing that, you're going to want to interface it and make sure that you have double sides. So as an example, for say the pocket area, instead of doing one slip like I'm going to do today in this example, because I'm using a vinyl, you would want to make sure that you have a Decovil or something else that gives it a little bit of structure. You just don't want too much because you don't want to increase your bulk. But you're only going to put on half of it so that you're able to fold that over at some point. So this is my front flap that I'm going to use there. So with that being said, I'm going to show you how to do this with vinyl today, and then I'll probably do another video to show you how to do it, how I did it with the cotton woven. So we're going to start, I believe I have it up, yep, with the flap. So the flap is going to be first. A couple of things to mention is this is included with your design so that you can cut out your stabilizer and have kind of a cheat sheet of sorts for your sizes. When doing this, I only included one, but each one has a different color. That is entirely up to you. I printed it a couple times so that I could just cut the pieces that I needed out. The pieces I'm going to be using for the front flap looks like this. I have this piece here that you can see I cut out from here. I use the Decovil, and I just do this because it gives it a nice clean edge. It's going to go right in the middle there. I think I cut that a little bit small, but it's fine because it will use the blanket stitch to hold it down. Okay, so first step was just on a line on the board. Second step, we're just going to attach our front and back. Making sure we got plenty of overage on the sides. I'm going to do this. And you want to do the same thing to the back. I'm actually going to use tape as well to make sure I have a good grip. Using a paper tape like this, it makes it so that it's easy to go over and be able to still come off cleanly. So that's why I will use this, or I will use a double-sided tape underneath where it will not be stitched later. Place the hoop. And tack. And this will be the finish of your front flap. This is my flap, and then we'll do the front here in just a moment. And this comes off. You might have to use a little bit of a tweezer to get it out from underneath, but it comes off really cleanly, so it's nice. Let's get some more going. Okay, so all of these pieces here that you're seeing me use, I pre-cut 6 by 7.5, and that way I could just go ahead and use them, and I knew that they would fit really well. I will try and make sure that all that's in my instructions. This piece here is the red. This is going to be your front flap. I chose to add a little bit of Decovil. I cut it down, so you can see here I used my template. I just cut it, turned it over, cut a piece, and then trimmed that down using my ruler so that I had none of that showing when I go ahead and cut later on. I will say, if you have an issue with the snap, like you know you're going to put the magnet in there, that's a traditional magnet, put it in place first. I will try and give dimensions, and that way it kind of gives you the best chance at this. But I literally use these because I can go right through this front flap and be able to use my press through this whole piece where the rounded cap is, and I will show you that when I get to that point. But it just works out so simple for me. I know that I'm not everybody, so please by all means use the tools that are best for you. Now some of these designs I haven't changed anything from my original, so they may be a little bit different, but the basics is all the same. So I'm going to center this in my hoop. There is a very easy way of doing this if you want to have a placement for where all this goes. Let me see. Yeah, this one I only gave tack down, this piece, and then the back side. So if you want a placement, just do the first step and then go back and do that step again. Chances are I probably should do that on this one, but we're going to go ahead and risk it. Obviously, if you can't handle your hands being in there, you can use this, or you can pin it down and not have to worry about that. I just like to make sure everything's nice and flat. So now we're going to do this piece. It's entirely up to you on which side you want up. You just want to make sure that it's nice and crisp. And I'm going to pull this out in hopes that I can show it to you a little bit better about what I want to do. For this, I wanted it down a little bit. I didn't want it to be all the way up, because otherwise when you go to attach the back, it's going to stitch on that. So when I go to do this, if you don't like eyeballing things, just use a ruler to hold that into place. So to me, that's good. My only hiccup from, my particular purposes is the hump right here. So I go slowly the first couple, and then I make sure that either my foot is up higher or I'm walking it across that. Otherwise, you can use a clear water soluble on top of all of this, and that way it just glides and it doesn't catch anything. So you're going to see me use this. I'm going to go in and we're going to tack that down. So it's going to start at the top. You can see right here it's starting to push a little bit. If I just lift up my foot and lay that back down underneath that foot, now it's on top and it's just going to glide. When you're cutting this piece out, give yourself some grace on both sides. The reason I say that is this is based off of the actual space that it's going to go into. So by giving it a little bit of grace and extra oomph on the sides, what's going to happen is it'll give you more of a footing. Yes, you're going to have to cut that off, but you won't have to go, oh, did I do it right? Once again, there's nothing that says you can't stitch the lines down, so that you can make sure this is exactly where you want it. And then just go back a step. So now you have your little pocket, okay? Now you're going to attach your back, just like we did to the last one. Make sure I got all the space covered. Now we're just going to attach the back. one is done.